Hello and welcome to a new video. I'm Vanguard and today we'll be going through the future of the Spyro the Dragon series. Spyro is a classic platformer video game series that was fortunately introduced to us way back in 1998. Since then, the franchise has sold over 20 million copies worldwide with more than 10 different games. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now I'd like to start off with what we know so far and the clues supporting the idea of the series coming back. Spyro was once a proud and popular mascot for the PlayStation system. It was the first game for many at the time. The series began in 1998 with the PlayStation game Spyro the Dragon, developed by Insomniac Games and published by Universal Interactive. Insomniac went to develop two sequels, Spyro 2 and The Year of the Dragon. All these games together are known as the Insomniac Trilogy, selling over 12 million copies altogether, and these games also received critical acclaim, making this a very successful series. However, after the release of Year of the Dragon, Insomniac Games announced that there would be no more Spyro games made by them, and moved on to the Ratchet & Clank series. Today, the series rights are currently being held by Activision. There were many sequels and spin-offs over the years, some great and others turned out to be disappointing. But one thing's for sure, and it's that there was a steady decline in popularity and sales. While the franchise still sold well, none could unfortunately touch the original trilogy, especially the first game in terms of sales. And the review scores also lowered overall in the process. After a while, there was silence for a long time. As saddening as it was to see the eventual diminishing of Spyro, with many including myself accepting that the series was dead, there still is actually hope. In July 2014, in a Daily Telegraph interview with Sony Computer Entertainment CEO Andrew House, he said that his team were considering bringing Spyro back, saying there isn't anything wrong with going back and looking at the characters that people still talk about. That would be their big part of their childhood or their youth. I definitely won't close the door on that. 2 months later in September, the CEO of Insomniac Games, Ted Price, spoke to IGN and said that he is really happy to see where Activision has taken the franchise. He said, "We'll always love Spyro. I've learned to say never, so who knows," when referring to its future. Fast forward to 2017, we got a successful release of Crash Bandicoot N. Trilogy. This alone sparked some hope for a lot of fans. If Crash got an incredible remaster, why couldn't Spyro get the same treatment too? After the release of the Crash Trilogy, we got some possible hints to what's to come for Spyro. During a post-earnings conference call with investors, the Activision publishing boss himself said that his entire team was surprised by the overwhelming popularity of their new remastered game. "We knew that there was a passionate audience out there for Crash. Full disclosure, myself among them, but we had no idea. It's hard to tell whether it's a vocal minority or whether it's a real mass audience until you put something out there," Hirschberg said. Crash has surpassed all expectations by a pretty wide margin, and a couple of stats that underscore that point, where it was the #1 selling console game in June based on the units, even though it was only available 2 days during that month. I think we have other great IP in our portfolio that we're considering, of course. I think you can be confident that there will be more activity like this in the future with more great IP. Crash Bandicoot N. Trilogy became the 4th most sold PlayStation 4 game with over 2.5 million copies sold, which is absolutely insane. It definitely leaves room for maybe more Crash content to come, as they are now confident in the existing community to bring them success, and that the classic style of platforming gameplay is still very much viable in today's world. Hopefully, whatever they're planning could also be related to either a new Spyro game or a remaster of Insomniac's original trilogy, since they were the most popular in the series. Fans are heavily requesting for this to happen. The developers behind the N. Trilogy remaster, Vicarious Vision, were asked by IGN about the idea of a Spyro remaster. They replied to the fans simply with the statement, "Just keep asking," which to me says that they're perfectly fine to make it as long as there's demand for it. Now I'd like to talk about 2 more minor details relating to hints. The first is a post on the official Facebook page of the PlayStation Netherlands that featured many different PlayStation mascots including Spyro himself. The second is more of a small Easter egg in the Crash remaster itself. On the original version of the Crash Bandicoot Warped, you could unlock a demo for Spyro by pressing up, down, left, right, and square. A YouTuber known as Thorns of Serenity discovered on the main menu, if you entered the Spyro demo code, the highlight over the menu option disappears, displaying only orange text instead of white when the menu option is selected. This is only specifically for the Warp menu. Now this is no coincidence, as Vicarious Vision purposely programmed this into the game. It's very specific. Whether this is to add a small Easter egg to reference the past for fans to enjoy, or to spark a conversation on the Spyro franchise itself, we are yet to know the true purpose of this being in the game. I believe with the CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment leaving the door open to the idea of returning to Spyro way back in 2014, the recent success of the Insane Trilogy, the CEO of Activision talking about giving another IP the same treatment as the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, and the more minor hints from other strange places, there could very well be a Spyro remaster or an entirely new game on its way. Either way, it will make them a lot, and Crash only proves this idea. And of course 2018 marks the 20th anniversary since the release of the very first game, so there's never been a better time to bring the series back. I really want to see our little purple dragon come back in one shape or another. The first Spyro game was my personal first game that I actually remember playing as a kid. But that about wraps up this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.